This episode of the What's Happening Delco podcast is sponsored by Delco Meets for Business. Check us out on Meetup at Delco Meets, the number 4 business, and attend one of our incredible networking events. Be sure to register, and we'll see you there. What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today I'm joined by Nichole Birmingham of Nichole Birmingham Coaching. Nichole, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Rich. I really appreciate this opportunity. I'm happy to talk to you today.
Nichole Birmingham Coaching, what is that?
So it is a coaching service. I'm a women's empowerment life coach. I help high-achieving, career-focused women ditch autopilot, the shoulds, and survival mode for a confident, energized life of their own design so they can thrive in and outside of the office.
I mean, that sounds fascinating in itself. The clients that you're working with, what can they expect when they work with you, Nichole?
So I do one-on-one coaching. We meet for 45 minutes virtually over Zoom, and it's a very focused, intentional conversation. So we work on whatever the clients want to work on, although I do have some guidance as well if they're not sure what they want to talk about. I've got plenty of worksheets and exercises to get them thinking and reflecting so they can start really figuring out who they are first. Who are you today? Where do you want to go? And how are we going to get there? And that's really how I like to structure it when we work together. But we work on whatever the clients want to do, however they want to focus. And I just help them to gain clarity and uncover what's really important to them in the moment and maybe where they're a little bit blocked, and we can get past it and help them move forward.
How did all this come about for you? How did you start and realize this is something that you could help, specifically women, help to empower their lives, their futures, and where they were going?
Oh, great question. So I'm doing this now because I lived it. Up until last year, for 21 years, I worked at the same company. I held various roles in the corporate space at the same company, but I kind of realized that my own ladder was leaning up against the wrong wall, right? Not necessarily bad. There's nothing wrong with staying with the company for 21 years and leaning into the security or quote unquote security, that you can have with that type of work. But I just always knew inside something else was out there for me. And really that all of that kind of started around age 30 for me. I started kind of stuffing down that inner whisper that happens to us when we say, maybe I'm not quite on the track I want to be on. And it can come in different forms. But the idea is I didn't really listen to it. I stuffed it down. I said, no, I got to be on the track that I should be on. Everybody said I would have happiness and fulfillment and, just in general, enjoy my life and be happy with the structure and security, quote unquote, that came from holding down a good job and being career focused. And so they got to a point where that inner whisper became a scream. And I started having anxiety and panic attacks and depression. And I felt lost. I didn't know who I was anymore. So I went on my own kind of self-growth journey. I started reading motivational self-help books. I started listening to Tony Robbins, all these things. And honestly, that helped me a ton. It helped my mindset to flip where I actually believed in myself and the possibilities of change in my life. But where I was lacking was that everything felt forced. Everything felt like if I don't work hard and I don't have pain, while I'm doing this and I don't suffer, then I didn't really earn it, did I? And I feel like that kind of goes along with some stories, that we're told of like, yes, hard work pays off. And I lived all that. So I did have some improvements in my life because I started believing in myself. But it was around 2019. I'm commiserating with a coworker in the kitchen at our office. And I found out that she was going to life coach training. And I said, I thought about becoming a coach because I've always wanted to help people in some way. But no, not me. I don't have my life together, right? I didn't really understand what it was all about. Then I became her client. So when I really got exposed to what coaching is and experienced it as a client, but also kind of got a peek behind the scenes, of what it looks like to go through training as a coach, that's when I knew everything clicked. Because I was starting to incorporate and apply all of that knowledge into real change in my life and actually feeling the difference. And so much of the weight, of the pain and the struggling was lifted. I was enjoying moving forward in my life. I was enjoying those things, and I said, "That's it. I'm going through coach training." So that's really how it started for me. Was my own journey, and then I went through coach training, and that's an adventure in itself. And it really got me solid on this path here of being able to put myself out there with my own business and serving others.
This catalyst for you in your life to change that path you were on, there were some questions that you asked yourself. There are questions you ask your clients. And in the beginning, you're going to start to create a mindset, I guess, either for you or your clients to start to think, to start to open up, to start to realize or dream what is achievable. What do those first steps look like, either through your experience or how you're starting to take your clients through coaching?
Oh, yeah, great question. So, I really like to help my clients set a foundation. Who are you today? Give credit and appreciation and acceptance for your journey in life up to this point. Because now that we're working together, you can start to look forward, right? You can start to accept who you are. You can start to, believe in yourself and build that confidence. And I know a lot of this sounds it is optimistic, it is positive, because I find that a lot of people come to me, and I had this too, where I'm not enough, right? That everything always comes back to I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not strong enough, all the things. And we work through that. So when you know who you are and what stands in your way, then we can start asking the questions of where do you go from here? What does that look like? What does that feel like? I want you to be able to not just visualize it, but feel it in your bones. Like, yeah, this is absolutely possible.
So the first step is self discovery, but it's also in conjunction with what I'm hearing you say is letting go of those preconceived notions, of those self-proclaimed identities and or the things that we see out in our world. You just got to let it go, and that change will begin. But having a coach like you, Nichole, there's a guide, there's a way to achieve that step by step. And I think that for a lot of people, they may want to take that shotgun approach, and you provide a hack, right? We're going to get you there in a more succinct way, in a smoother way, and take out a lot of those, maybe some of those experience you had where it just turned into some dead ends, or the result you were hoping for at that time didn't help you achieve that where you wanted to go.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And when I think about my own journey, and I'm sure other folks can relate, at age 30 through 39, right? So these 9 years, I started to wake up and I started to realize, this is before coaching, that I could make change in my life. It is worth it. I am worth it, right? I did a lot of things there, but that was 9 years. And of course, hindsight being what it is, bringing a lot of clarity. Yeah, sure, there could be a shorter path, but that's exactly why I'm here. Let me help you find that shorter path because it's possible. And that's the whole point of being intentional and focused when we work together, right? We're going to find clarity. We're going to get you on that path. I am there to hold your hand or put my hand behind your back as you move forward the whole way. And had I had that, myself on that 9 year journey, things probably would have changed early. Now we can't change the past, but we can change the present and we can change our future. And that's another big lesson I learned as well. And I want to share with folks that it is possible. Whatever it is that you want, it is possible. We can do it faster than 9 years, let's say.
That's Look, if you came to me and said, "Hey, Rich, we got 9 years of work to do, and then we'll get you there." Well, I might be excited for, hey, we get to work together for 9 years. I might start to say, how much faster can we start to brew this coffee?
That's
Because I
right.
got stuff I want to do as well, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's all about, I call it coaching at the speed of life, right? So if you want to be like heads down, pushing through, we can work together every week if you want. But what I like to do with clients is every other week. We will have our sessions because it helps you to live life. It helps you to incorporate whatever we talked about, whatever your goals are, the homework you've had between sessions, and don't get scared about the word homework. It doesn't necessarily mean you're writing a five-page paper. You come up with it, but it's all about, yes, that self-discovery, and it's all about kind of, dreaming and figuring out where you want to go. So it is, yeah, it's definitely can be expedited if you are really like, hey man, let's get on this. We can do that, but I definitely like the idea of incorporating it into your life at a realistic pace. So you have those breakthrough moments between our sessions and you figure it out yourself, right? I'm the guide, but the most important thing that happens for my clients is when they have their own aha moments and their own realizations that I could never have predicted. It's a beautiful thing.
You mentioned that at the beginning of this discovery for you, you started reading books. Do you have those that you would recommend or you recommend to your clients that help us along and give us that some of that wisdom that we need to learn about ourselves or help us get to where we're going to?
Sure. One that stands out the most for me, and I like to recommend this one often, is called The Code of the Extraordinary Mind by Vishen Lakhiani. I don't know if you're familiar with Mind Valley. It's a company he started to kind of revolutionize education. Um, all about finding these life hacks and things like that too. Sharing the wisdom of people who've had success in the way that you define success, and so it's really interesting. But I think what I gleaned most from that book, and I didn't read it, until after I was in my coaching journey, but more of questioning everything, right? This is what I love to do with my clients is question it all. Is that really true? Right? Whatever is holding you back, can we pick the onion apart a little bit? Can we see what's going on inside there? And if it works for you and it serves you, great. No more questioning. That's one of your rules now. But the idea of taking that observational view of your life and saying, does this work for me? Does it serve me? Does it, whoever I am today, maybe 5 years ago, this was good, but maybe now things are different. And I could rewrite those rules. So I think that was a big takeaway I had from that particular book.
You motivate, you inspire. Who motivates and inspires you, Nichole?
Oh, lots of people. I try to find inspiration everywhere I go. That's literally how I try to look at everything in my life. But I would say, first and foremost, my husband. Um, he's the hardest worker I know. He's also working on a passion project to help people in a way. It's not ready to be out there for the public yet, but it will definitely change lives as well. And so having a partner like that where we can challenge each other and keep each other on track, or if we're both too far into work and we need to come back, to just like having our home time and our downtime with our dogs. And, it's wonderful to have a partner like that. I would also say in all the networking I've done over the past year of having my business, man, we have some pretty excellent entrepreneurs and just people in business in Delco. I have every time I meet somebody new, I'm like, wow, like it is the resilience, it is the grit, it is the passion, and knowing you're not alone. So when you go to these events and you meet people like that, you're like, okay, I'm not the only one, who's feeling what I'm feeling. Oh, and that person gave me advice, or you can share advice with other people. We're all kind of in it to help each other and motivate, and that's pretty excellent. Lastly, I would say my clients. And it's because I really value a life rule that everyone we meet is our teacher and student. And when you start looking at life that way, your interactions change, your communication style changes, the way you show up for people in your life or the networking people you just met or even somebody at the grocery store, like it changes the way you look at things. And so working with my clients to hear where they're stuck and when they have those aha moments, or even just, the intricacies of the things they want to work on in their life. Maybe it's something I've never heard of. Maybe it challenges me to up level my skills. So not only am I providing guidance, but I'm also, learning from them as well. And, it couldn't be more fulfilling to watch your clients really succeed in the way they want to succeed and have, that thriving life they want to have, and see it come to fruition and say, man, look at them go. Like I had a small part of that, but I'm really just happy to watch them on their journey.
Nichole, how do people connect with you? How do they find you for you to help them along their journey and their path?
So I'm most active on Instagram and Facebook. So I can be found at Nichole Birmingham Coaching. Please remember the H in the Nichole, Nichole. I know it's an unusual spelling, but well, now that I've met a few of us H's, we're not so unusual, but don't forget the H. So that's at Nichole Birmingham Coaching. I also have a website, which is NicholeBirmingham.com. Provides a little bit more detail about my packages. You can also sign up for my email list there. And when you do that, you get a free energy management guide that I hope you find helpful. And also, I do speak at some events here and there. I'm trying to get more involved in that because I love the motivational side of things and the teaching side of things. So if you have heard of the Beauty Boost, they tend to have some events, and I get involved with those. I do some panel speaking, like women of wellness panels. Yeah, and the occasional other event that either I might host or a networking event where I get an opportunity to speak. So those would be the best chances to get in touch with me.
You're out and about in Delco and you have a convenience store need. Where are you stopping? Wawa or Royal Farms?
Oh, it's Wawa all day, all day long. I grew up in South Jersey. Been living in Delco for about 8 years. Well, actually, no, it's been about 13. I'm in Ardmore for 8 years, but um, I grew up in South Jersey. My Grammy was a Wawa manager, so so Wawa's in my blood. I can't do without it.
How do you describe Delco to someone who's never heard of Delco before or has not been here?
Mm. There's so much packed into this county. Things to do, people to meet, food to eat. I mean, just all different, like all kinds of businesses. It amazes me in the time that I've been living here. Everything's here. Everything's convenient. You're not far from the city or the country. Like we go to Linvilla Orchards, when I want to get away and have some farm, fresh air experience, things like that. Everything is just within a short drive. And honestly, the people, um, I was concerned being a quote unquote outsider, kind of coming into Delco at first because, we sort of hear these stereotypes and things. And I can't tell you, I've just met so many great people. I'm grateful for my neighbors, all the people I've met through networking at the Delco Chamber. I became a member earlier this year. It's just been such a positive experience that whenever my husband and I go elsewhere, outside the county, going to visit family or friends or whatever, and we come back, we're like, thank God we live here. Like it's perfect for us.
Well, you mentioned Linvilla Orchards, and you have friends or family coming in from out of town, and you want to give them or take them to that Delco experience. Where are you sending them, or where are you taking them?
That's a good question. There's a lot here, right? Like I said, I mean, it depends on what you're in the mood for. We've got parks if we're into taking a walk and doing, getting out into nature. Small parks, big parks. We like the Ithen. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Ithen Valley Park. It's kind of like this little hidden gem, and I think it's in the Bryn Mawr area. We take our dogs there, and it's beautiful. It's very peaceful. That's like a very unique little experience. Linvilla, of course, that's kind of that's a whole different thing, right? If you want to have that farm feel and get some apple cider, and just kind of enjoy, the literal fruits of the land. We love that too. Um, but we also really, in terms of like going out to eat, we like places like the Apple Walnut Cafe in Broomall. It's so cute, and it's just one of those like could be a diner but looks nicer than a diner. Like it's their food is so good, and we go there, and then like for dinner we might like something like the Sedona Tap House that was recently opened in Newtown Square, kind of a little bit more of an upscale feel, but a little something for everybody. So yeah, we would that's probably what an ideal day might be.
What's your go-to favorite at the Apple Walnut?
Oh, I typically just kind of go for like a standard breakfast. I think it's their stuffed French toast that they have. It doesn't have apples, but it does have walnuts. And I think it's got like a sweet cream cheese in it. So when I'm in the mood to indulge, I'm definitely going for that.
Nichole, what the heck is tomato pie?
Oh, I love tomato pie. Tomato pie is like pizza without the cheese, although sometimes it does have like Parmesan or Pecorino or something on it. Yeah, I'm a fan of tomato pie for sure. That's an interesting question.
Nichole, is there anything we haven't spoken about today? Anything you want listeners to know more about you or more about Nichole Birmingham coaching?
So I think it's November 16th. It's a Sunday. I will be at the Beauty Boost Holiday Reset event. More information. I have a link tree on my Instagram. You can find Beauty Boost events there for more information. I do have a few other things in the works, but they're not totally nailed down yet. One other thing is that next week next week on October 20th, I will be releasing an online course. So if you've ever been curious about working with me, you're curious what it's about, but you're not necessarily ready or not sure if you're ready to take on the full coaching experience, this will be a self-led 7-day online course called the Peace Reset. And, I'm putting it out there just so that folks can kind of experience what it's like to work with me and also realize some real change in their life just by going through it.
Nichole, thank you for improving. Thank you for changing. Thank you for helping to make people's lives better here in Delco and the surrounding counties. We appreciate you being a friend of What's Happening Delco. Can't wait to see you at some of these speaking engagements, taking your online course and helping people one-on-one with your coaching. I'm grateful for your time today, and thanks again. Really appreciate this.
Thank you, Rich. I really enjoyed talking with you, and I hope that I've brought something new and different to the folks who are listening.
And remember, go check out Nichole with an H, her social media, like, share, comment, do the same thing with What's Happening Delco. We always appreciate that, right, Nichole?
That's right.
Hey, it's Rich. Thank you so much for being a listener to the What's Happening Delco podcast. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn more about the people and businesses in our community. I have been a real estate agent for over 25 years, working with first-time home buyers to last-time home sellers. As a listener of the podcast, my gift to you is a complimentary 1-year American Home Shield home warranty. This is for buyers and sellers that I help. If you're looking to move anywhere in the United States, I have you covered with an amazing network of real estate agents. I look forward to hearing from you. My direct line is 215-313-3777, or you can email me at rshaneremax@comcast.net. Oh, by the way, I am never too busy for any of your referrals.